This is Nikhil Jariwala. Whenever I make a tackle, you're here on the King James Radio Network.
And yes, this is Raiders Live on the King James Radio Network. Corbett Thompson here at JamesIsKing.com as we are 30 minutes away from North Brunswick Raiders football as the Raiders get set to take on the Carteret Ramblers in a GMC White Division matchup. Well, the Raiders, the story there is North Brunswick comes in at 0-2 looking for their first win for head coach Mike Sipot in his first season as head coach with the Raiders. And so still trying to get that first one out of the way. And you're feeling pretty confident today that they can get the job done here against the Carteret Ramblers. Now, Carteret is certainly not chopped liver. Carteret comes in at 2-0 under head coach Matt Yasko. And Carteret, for the second straight year at 2-0, looking to keep their undefeated season going, and certainly could do that with a win here over the Raiders today behind quarterback Zamar Brake, who is a dual threat, if you will, a hybrid of what the Raiders have seen in the previous 2 weeks. They saw a quarterback in St. Joe's in Paul Cocosiello that could throw it, and last week seeing a quarterback in Taj Calvin Johnson that can run it. They're going to see a combination of that here today with Zamar Brake. Brake had 2 touchdown passes and 2 touchdown runs in Carteret's come-from-behind victory last week over JFK. Carteret was down by 2 scores, 21-6, with just a little shade over 9.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter of that game. They came back, forced overtime with 39 seconds left, scoring a touchdown to force overtime against JFK, and then Brake, winning the game for the Ramblers in OT. So with that as your backdrop, the Raiders, really want to try. I think the main theme here is want to try and play a complete game here if they can. Want to try to play 4 quarters of football, something that eluded them last week against Colonia. The Raiders had a 12-7 lead going into the fourth quarter, and then first play of the fourth quarter would be where Luke Pirro would score Colonia's second touchdown, his second touchdown of the night. He had 3 altogether to give Colonia a 14-12 lead. Colonia would never relinquish the lead from there. Colonia actually went on to score 21 unanswered points in that fourth quarter to defeat the Raiders by a score of 28-12. And thus Colonia, they are no longer 2-0. They lost to St. Joe's last night in a tightly played game. So right now St. Joe's is atop the GMC White Division at 3-0. Colonia at 2-1. And you look at some of the scores from around the White Division last night. Woodbridge knocking off South Plainfield last night. South Plainfield will be next up for the Raiders. The Raiders head to South Plainfield next week. But Woodbridge beating South Plainfield. So you have that Perth Amboy getting their first win of the year last night. So it's gone a little topsy-turvy. So actually that might favor the Raiders here. That some of the teams that have struggled in the early going, couple of teams that have struggled in the early going, getting wins last night. So that could help the Raiders. That might work in their favor here today against the Carteret Ramblers. So with that being said, we had a chance to catch up with Raiders head football coach Mike Sipot and talk to him a little bit before the game. And as a matter of fact, yesterday caught up with him and got his take on game number 3, North Brunswick and Carteret. So here's my conversation with the head coach of the North Brunswick Football Raiders, Mike Sipot.
Here with Raiders head coach Mike Sipot as we get ready for North Brunswick and Carteret, game number 3. And, well, the Raiders 0-2 start, but Coach Sipot is not deterred. So we'll look ahead to Carteret in a moment. But, Coach, I'll start with the fourth quarter against Colonia. You guys had them 12-7. They scored 21 points unanswered. And, we were talking before about, you guys were able to stop them on defense, but just couldn't tack on offense. But my question to you is, do you look at that 21 points as, that they scored as just an aberration and it's something that won't happen again, or do you have a bigger concern there?
Unfortunately, it happened. So, but, win or lose, it's got to be a learning curve for our players. We're not used to winning. So some of these situations have to happen for us to realize what needs to be done in those situations. We had a very thorough film session on Saturday. We worked extremely hard this week. We had 3 full days of pads. Monday those kids, learned, made their mistakes, learned from their mistakes, and, even down to 14-12, the kids got to know, hey, we got to come out, even harder now and try to get into the end zone. And we can't make mistakes. We make sure we're lined up right, and we can't miss tackles. And, it's almost like sense of urgency type of situations on the field at that point, and you can't mess up focus. The mental focus was a little lost, and again, in those situations, hopefully moving forward, now we know when we're in those situations that we have to hit the gas pedal a little bit instead of say, here we go again. We have to get that attitude and old North Brunswick losing ways out of our system. And I think we got it out of our system. Hopefully it shows tomorrow in our game.
I want to focus on the offensive line for a second. I thought, Miles Bailey over 100 yards, and they protected Chich well, Christian Petrillo, and no sacks, if I recall. So tell me about your thoughts on the offensive line, and seem to have improved vastly from week one.
And that's going to be the group that we kind of lean on all year. We got 3 captains on that line. Those are our guys. Those are the tight-knit group that, in the summer, they're always with each other in the weight room, working hard. They set the tone. I say every week that the O-line sets the tone on either side of the ball, both lines. And, having looked at the film, if you looked at the film and their effort and you look at the score, you're like, I can't believe you lost like that, because they played very well. I think we ran out of steam a little bit in the fourth quarter, but again, it's a learning curve for them. Those seniors have only won 3 or 4 games their whole career, so they haven't been in situations like that. And they have to know that there's going to be situations this year that they're never going to ever be in, and that they never were in. So, those guys got to put their hard hat on and come to work, and they got to, work their butts off for 4 quarters. And if we do that, the wins are going to come.
Defensive line, you guys had a couple of sacks on back-to-back plays. Berhini, Tyler Hernandez, and Sean Berhini. Do you like what you see, coming together with the D-line?
I think we did an excellent job in the inside. I think our tackles, Alex Rossman and Tyler Hernandez, did a very good job of stopping the inside run. And I told the kids the goal, you have to stop number 7 and 11, and we shut down 7 for the whole game. We only stopped number 11, Piero, for 3 quarters, and he kind of got us in the fourth. But I'm happy the way the D-line is getting coached very well by my brother Nick. He's done it before. He's a veteran coach, and he knows what, we had a good outcome from Samad Wingo. He's going to be starting this week versus Carteret. I think he did a very good job of coming in and doing his job and, being a reliable guy. Hey, you might only get 1 or 2 reps, but what do you do when you come in, and what you make of it is important to our team. And Sean, of course, Sean's always reliable. Sean, we made a blitz adjustment. He ran it to a T, and he hustles and gets a sack, and that's what we're expected on the defense. Just doing your job.
Do you almost have to reset the season for the guys and say, hey, even though our on paper which says 0-2, we start at 0-0 again?
They have to realize that. Again, the next biggest game is Carteret, so we got to, our Carteret is our Super Bowl, and we got to do anything we can to win this game. They have to see the positives out of those first 2 games. Last year we lose, we score in the last play of the game, we lose 38-6 against St. Joe's. This year we're in the game in the fourth quarter. Colonia was 33-0 at one point last year. We're winning 12-7 in the fourth quarter. The change has been made, and as the players, they have to finish the game. They have to finish the game. They got to put it all together. They have to play a complete game, and that was kind of our MO this week and our theme. That we got to finish. We got to play together as a team, and I just want them to see that the positives are there. We just got to put it all together. Our goals are still in front of us for the year to make the state playoffs. We just got to get one. That would be nice. We just got to get one. And those aren't excuses, and they're not like, our kids play well and this and that, and we're 0-2, oh, woe is us. That's not the case. We just got to keep working hard.
Zamar Brake, quarterback for Carteret. He's a guy, last week against JFK, he ran for 2 touchdowns, he threw for 2, so he's a dual threat, kind of a combo of the first 2 guys that you've seen at quarterback. So what makes him tough to defend? He is an exceptional athlete. The kid's got time to throw back there. He makes plays. He's got a heck of an arm. He can run. So for me, calling the defense, we got to make sure that we're doing our job in the secondary, whatever the coverage may be, and make sure we're not doing our own thing.
and make sure that they have to know that kid can extend plays. So, like, we have to make sure we stay in coverage. Our ends, our outside backers, if they're walked up on the line, they got to make sure they have contained, make sure they keep them in the box. And we got to contain this kid. We got to pressure this kid. If we pressure him the way I think we can, it might be a long day for him. If we give this kid second chances, he can hurt us.
You mentioned the complete game, and knowing that they came back against JFK last week, does that put even more emphasis on the second half of this game?
Yeah, we told the kids, and we know as a staff that, and as a team, we know that the team that's coming in here is a typical Carteret, tough team, mentally tough. The kids don't give up. They're down both games. They come back and win. They want to leave there being 3-0. They're going to be ready to go. They know what they're up against, and we're accepting the challenge, and we'll be ready.
Mike Sipot ready for Game 3, North Brunswick and Carteret. Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
So there you heard from Raiders head football coach Mike Sipot as we get ready here in our pregame for North Brunswick and Carteret. So the Raiders marching band on the field at the moment. You'll have to excuse me. I was just coming back from running across the field. And you can tell my age from the way I'm breathing right now. But we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk to Manny Herrera, linebacker for the Raiders, and get his take on the season and what he's been up to. Manny having a good season so far, so had a chance to catch up with him for a few minutes. I'll get a chance to catch my breath. We'll take a break, and we'll come back on the other side with our Raiders Live pregame in just a moment. This is Raiders Live on the King James Radio Network.
After the game, stop by the Green Turtle in the Main Street Shopping Center on Route 1 North in North Brunswick, right next to Panera Bread, Target, and Costco. For more information, visit thegreenturtle.com, that's Greene, or call 732-515-9760.
Dana and Lisa here from Our Turf Football to tell you that the Our Turf podcast is up and running for the 2017 football season.
Did you know that women make up over 45% of all NFL fans and counting? Here at Our Turf, we have our own take on what's happening around the National Football League with special features, previews, reports from our official fan reporters covering each team, and interviews with players and personalities who have the scoop on what's happening. Women are in the know when it comes to football, and it's time the rest of the world knew it too.
Our Turf Football is every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on the King James Radio Network at jamesisking.com.
This is David Straminsky. Raiders Football is on your radio at jamesisking.com.
We come back to Raiders Live, our pregame on the King James Radio Network at jamesisking.com. You can also see us on Facebook under the name King James Radio Network, and on Twitter at King James Radio 1, the number 1 on Twitter. Well, here we are at Steve Lebro Field as we get ready for North Brunswick and Carteret, and we're just roughly about, I think about 15 minutes or so. Yeah, roughly 15 minutes before kickoff. And, for the Raiders again, 0-2, trying to get their first win for their new head coach, Mike Sipot, and Carteret for the second straight year at 2-0 under head coach Matt Yasko. And so, had a chance to catch up with Manny Herrera, junior linebacker and wide receiver for our Raiders Spotlight this week. Manny had a touchdown reception last week against Colonia. He has the only touchdown reception of the season thus far for the Raiders, and so I had a chance to catch up with him and get his thoughts on being on varsity now. This is Manny's first year on varsity, so we talk a little bit about that. And again, other things North Brunswick football as we catch up with junior wide receiver and linebacker Manny Herrera.
Here with Manny Herrera, Jr., wide receiver and linebacker for the Raiders as we get ready for North Brunswick and Carteret, and talk to Manny for a couple of minutes about his ascension to the varsity level. And now Manny, who, he leads he has the only touchdown reception for the Raiders this year, and he's second on the team in receptions. So far so good. When you're having a little bit of success now at varsity, you're getting open, you're catching some passes. What's been the adjustment coming up to varsity and you being able to get open?
It's just been able to work hard during practice and perfect our routes to get open on the
when you knew that you were going to have a new head coach and a new coaching staff and the program just getting a fresh start now, you don't necessarily have the battle scars from the last couple of years where, one win last year and all of that. You get to come in and start fresh. How important was that, just to get a fresh start?
It felt good to know that there was people in the town that cared, and most of the coaches on our team are from North Brunswick and they play here, so it's a good experience for us.
Now, if I remember right, when you were in middle school, you were a running back.
I played fullback.
Fullback, yeah. So now wide receiver. Tell me about making the transition to wide receiver now.
I got taller. I always been able to catch, but I was slower before, and I just worked on my footwork, and I just became a receiver.
Did you have to work on your speed a little at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that just weight training or just running? What prepared you for that?
I do a lot of ladder work at home and a lot of catching. My little brother's a quarterback, so he throws me passes and stuff. Okay,
good to have a quarterback in the family. This group of linebackers that you guys have, Sean Berhini and Quanadolo and also Brandon Outlaw, and just the linebackers that you guys have, do you guys make each other better?
Yeah, it's a lot of competition at the linebacker position, and during practice we just make each other work harder.
The comfort level of which, you and speaking of quarterbacks, Christian Petrillo, you guys have been playing together for a long time. Mm-hmm. Is the comfort level changed at all now in high school? Like I said, you guys came up together. Do you guys still, on the same wavelength and on the same page with everything?
Yeah, I think so. We played with each other since Pop Warner, and we just always been good friends. And we played baseball together too.
Is there I don't know, not buzzword, but is there a way that, if you guys get off the same page, that you guys can get back on?
We just clap it up and cheer each other on and hype everyone up.
As far as the season, obviously not where you want to be at 0-2, but there's still a lot of time left in the season. How do you stay encouraged that, you guys are going to get some wins?
It's just the way that we practice. Like we practice hard and we go all out every day. So it encourages that we're going to win.
And my last question for you is, junior year. So what do you want to accomplish, for yourself? Is it, just improving every game, or is there a certain goal you're trying to reach by the end of the year?
Well, the goal for everybody, I think, is to make it to the playoffs. And if we make it to the playoffs this year, then next year it'll be easier for us to make it farther than where we made it this year.
Manny Herrera getting nice enough to join us here for a few minutes. So thank you very much. Keep catching some passes, and good luck out there.
All right, thank you.
There you hear from Manny Herrera, again, junior linebacker and wide receiver for the Raiders, as he and the rest of the crew get ready for North Brunswick and Carteret here from Steve Lebro Field. Nice sunny day outside. We'll get you our game time temperature at the start of the game at kickoff. And so with that, we still have this date in Raiders football history. We still have our keys to the game to get to. So we will do all of that coming up here in just a little bit. So we'll take a break, and we'll come back, and we'll get you that, and then we'll get you the kickoff, North Brunswick and Carteret. This is our Raiders Live pregame on the King James Radio Network.
This is Nikhil Jariwala. Whenever I make a tackle, you're here on the King James Radio Network.
We come back here to our Raiders Live pregame on the King James Radio Network. Corbett Thompson here at JamesIsKing.com as the teams are about to come onto the field. So it'll be North Brunswick and Carteret coming up in a Saturday afternoon matinee. First home game on a Saturday afternoon in 3 years for the Raiders. The last home game that the Raiders played on a Saturday afternoon at home, you have to go back to 2014 when the Raiders put up 40 points on East Brunswick, and they soundly defeated the Bears by a score of 40-14. And Joe Castellanos had a big day for the Raiders that day. So North Brunswick looking to repeat some of that success that they had from 3 years ago on a Saturday afternoon. So we'll see what happens. But we'll get to our keys to the game. Keys to the game for the Raiders: finish in the fourth quarter. If the Raiders do get the lead, finish in the fourth quarter. The second half has been a bit of a struggle for North Brunswick in these first two games. So finishing in the fourth quarter and going for the jugular, going for the kill, if you will. I think that's going to be a big theme here. Matter of fact, 40-13 they beat East Brunswick, September the 27th. So basically 2 years and 361 days ago. But as far as keys to the game, finish the game. So that's a big key. Penalties. The Raiders have to avoid. They were penalized 9 times last week against Colonia. They have to avoid those penalties that set them back, and particularly on third down and fourth down. Those are killers for drives. Those are drive killers. So third and fourth down penalties, cannot have those. The Raiders have to be mindful of that as they take the field here today. So with that being said, as far as any other keys go, obviously Miles Bailey, sophomore running back for the Raiders, is going to be their guy, their workhorse. Bailey with over 120 yards rushing last week, his second best performance as a Raider, only behind his 144-yard game against Perth Amboy on senior night last year. So keep Miles Bailey going. He got the ball about 20 times last week. So keep Miles Bailey healthy, keep him going. I know Coach Saipot has taken Miles. He did a little special teams work last week. Coach Saipot has said that he will not be doing that this week, just to keep him fresh throughout the course of the game. So keep an eye on Miles Bailey. Of course, Christian Petrillo with a nagging ankle injury that he sustained in the opener against St. Joe's. He aggravated it a little bit last week against Colonia. So Chich maybe not as mobile as he would normally like to be. We'll keep an eye on Christian Petrillo and his mobility as the starting quarterback as this game rolls along. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get to this date in Raiders football history. We'll take our last break here, and then we'll go into our live game coverage of North Brunswick and Carteret. So we will take our break, and we will come back here to Steve Glebro Field, and we will do that. I'm just looking for the right. I've been looking for something that I can't seem to find. That's quite aggravating. But we'll take our last break here, and then we'll come back with our live game coverage of North Brunswick and Carteret. As again, we're going to see, if the Raiders can, not only finish the game, but if something does, go a little awry, one of the, we talked, and Coach Saipot talked about this, is keeping their heads up and doing that. So we'll break. We'll come back with our live game coverage in a moment. This has been Raiders Live on the King James Radio Network.
This date in Raiders football history presented by Route 1 Dental. Do you know your dental history? Give Route 1 Dental a call at 732-940-0222 or visit Route 1 Dental at rt1dental.com. Well, on this date, September the 23rd, 1975, in Raiders football history, the Raiders played their very first varsity football game, which ended up in a 27-0 loss against Pemberton in the only meeting the two schools ever had, September the 23rd, 1975. In 1983, North Brunswick defeated their neighbors, New Brunswick, 36-6 behind more than 250 yards from the Raider offense, Mike Previtt and Mark Weiss each scoring a pair of touchdowns, while the defense forced 6 New Brunswick turnovers, including a couple of interceptions for Scott Marinoff. So, that is this date in Raiders football history, again presented by Route 1 Dental at rt1dental.com.
This is James Thompson, and you're listening to the King James Radio Network.
We are the North Brunswick Raiders cheerleaders. It's time for Raiders football on the King James Radio Network.
You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out.
Thank you. Moment of silence in respect for the people who are suffering from the recent hurricane season, of course, this year. So the recent hurricanes, Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Irma, and Jose, and I believe Maria is on its way. So, just a rough hurricane season for everybody down in the Gulf Coast and Puerto Rico and, other places, around this part of the globe. But we try to give you some high school football here this afternoon. That's a tough transition. Try to give you some high school football here this afternoon as the captains are now out on the field for North Brunswick in their blue jerseys with the white numbers trimmed in gold, blue pants with the blue helmets, the double stripe, the gold double stripe down the middle, and the player jersey number on the right side of the helmet. Carteret, they are in their road whites with the blue, kind of the metallic blue letters and numbers. Ramblers on the front, the number underneath and on the back. White helmets with the blue stripe down the middle. So captains for North Brunswick, David Straminsky, Alex Rossman, Tyler Hernandez, and Amir Alderman are out on the field. I see Zamar. No, check that. That's not Zamar. Yeah, Zamar breaks in the middle there for Carteret, along with Dwayne Sharp. Trying to see the gentleman to the right of Zamar break. I'll have that in a minute. And it looks like Carteret has won the toss. They will elect to receive here to start the game. Demetrius Ruiz, also a captain out there for Carteret. So for the third straight game, the Raiders will get the ball to start the second half. They won the opening toss the first 2 weeks, and they deferred both times. This time, Carteret wins the toss, and they will elect to receive. So it'll be interesting to see what the strategy from Mike Sipot here in the second half, but we'll get to that in the second half. Right now, the opening kickoff. By the way, our game time temperature presented by the Weather Channel, and very pleasant day out here at Steve Rebro Field. Sunny skies. I don't see a cloud in the sky out here. Here is it, 83 degrees and sunny skies at game time. So my thanks to Mr. Joel Chesler sitting to my right, the public address announcer. And so Aaron R. will kick things off here for North Brunswick. A couple of guys back deep here for Carteret. James Henderson is back deep. He's on the near side. Rozelle Austin on the far side. And R with a short kick. It'll be taken by an up man here at the 25. And he'll run it to the 30. And he's tackled there by Kawana Dolo, number 1 for North Brunswick. That one was taken by number 44, Zacchaeus Brake, on the return. And so Carteret will have it 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line. So again, quarterback Zamar Brake in control of the offense here for the Ramblers. Brake, the 6'3", 210-pound junior, 25 of 42 for 347 yards on the year, 3 touchdown passes. So Brake will work out of the shotgun here with James Henderson in the backfield. Takes the snap, drops back, quick throw to the right towards the sideline, incomplete. Amir Alderman on the coverage for the Raiders, intended for Stephon Kelly Gordon of Carteret. And again, Brake can either run it or throw it. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 34. Carteret's offensive line: Faizan Khan, Frank Kogan, C.J. Poitras, David Pierre, and Demetrius Ruiz from left to right. James Henderson in the backfield behind Zamar Brake. 2 in the backfield here. Henderson the deep back. And he'll wait for his call here. Dwayne Sharp to the right. And he'll go ahead and take the snap, drops back, throws it right, airs it, and completes it along the far sideline. Sean Brahini making the tackle. Diario DeMorla on the catch for Carteret. So that'll be good enough for a Ramblers 1st down. DeMorla had over 100 yards receiving last week for the Ramblers in their win over JFK. To the 48, gain of 14, 1st and 10 for Carteret. So the Ramblers will come out of their huddle here. So again, Sharp in the backfield this time for Brake out of the shotgun, and hands off to Sharp on a draw and goes off right hash towards midfield. He is tackled there at the 50. At the bottom of the pile for the Raiders. Looks like Samad Wingo, I believe. So Wingo getting the start today for North Brunswick. Wingo impressing Mike Sipot and the coaches. So 2nd down here from the Raider 49. Brake gives to Henderson here, and he's going to be stopped. tackled for a loss. Straminsky and Alex Rossman there. Alex Rossman with that helmet flying off. So that's a loss of 2. So you're looking at 3rd and 9 from the Carteret 49-yard line. Break will work out of the shotgun here. Sharp to his right, the deep back is Henderson. And we get a whistle. And we either have a delay of game or a timeout, one of the two. Nope, offside against the Raiders. So, and again, this is what we've been talking about. 3rd down penalties. The Raiders cannot afford to commit 3rd down penalties. And you see one here. 3rd down and 6. And the ball's back in Raider territory at the 46-yard line. So break out of the shotgun, Sharp to his right, takes the snap, drops back, throws it over the middle, completes it on a slant, and that's going to be a first down and more. Stephon Kelly Gordon on the reception. Looked like Alderman on the tackle, but it'll be good enough for a first down to the 25-yard line. And again, that 3rd down penalty continues to haunt the Raiders. The Raiders had him dead to rights on 3rd and 11, but let Carteret off the hook. 1st and 10 from the 25. 2 wide receivers right. Break out of the shotgun. Takes the snap, hands off to Henderson. Goes right, 25 to the 20 before Tyler Hernandez and Alex Rossman make the tackle. So, ball is just inside the 20. We'll call it 2nd and 5 from the 20-yard line. 8:48 to go in the first quarter. No score here between North Brunswick and Carteret on a Saturday afternoon. So break will work out of the shotgun, takes the snap, and fakes the handoff to Henderson. He's going to run it here to the near side, gets inside the 20, stood up by Manny Herrera, among others, at about the 19. Koana Dolo, the transfer from Newark Central, also in there on the stop by the Raiders. 3rd and 4 from the 19 coming up. So a crucial down here for North Brunswick at 3rd and 4 from the 19. Again, 2 wide receivers right. Break will work out of the shotgun, Sharp to his right. And break, where we get a flag here. Another offside penalty against the Raiders. Another 3rd down penalty. And this one's going to give Carteret a first down. First and 10 from the 14. So again, that's twice now in this drive where the Raiders have let Carteret off the hook. So penalties, kind of carrying over from last week, continuing to burn North Brunswick here. We'll get wide receiver to each side for Carteret. Henderson now shifts to the right of Break. Samar Break out of the shotgun, and we get whistles here. I think Carteret wants time. Yep. Looked like a little confusion on the personnel for the Ramblers. So Carteret will call a timeout with 7:15 to go here in the first quarter. No score. Carteret and North Brunswick will take a break. We'll come back with Raiders football on the King James Radio Network.
Dana and Lisa here from Our Turf Football to tell you that the Our Turf podcast is up and running for the 2017 football season.
Did you know that women make up over 45% of all NFL fans and counting? Here at Our Turf, we have our own take on what's happening around the National Football League with special features, previews, reports from our official fan reporters covering each team, and interviews with players and personalities who have the scoop on what's happening. Women are in the know when it comes to football, and it's time the rest of the world knew it too.
Our Turf Football is every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on the King James Radio Network at jamesisking.com.
All right, we come back off the timeout. 1st and 10 Carteret from the Raiders' 14-yard line. Break out of the shotgun, takes the snap, drops back, throws it right, end zone, incomplete. Threw it behind his receiver, which would be Stephon Kelly Gordon. Amir Alderman on the coverage. So it will be 2nd down and 10 from the 14. So the Raiders trying to get a stop here. Carteret's kicker is Vincent Fotia. I'm not sure what his range is, but we may find out in short order. 2nd and 10 from the 14. So break will work out of the shotgun here. Takes the snap, pitches it right to Henderson. He'll try to go right inside the 10. Sean Brahini making the tackle. He'll spot it at the 11. So gain of 3, 3rd and 7 from the 11-yard line. Alex Rossman, Tyler Hernandez, Samad Wingo, David Straminsky on that line, on that defensive front. Sean Brahini, Kawana Dolo, Manny Herrera, the linebackers. Amir Alderman, Miles Bailey in the secondary. And we get a movement on the Carteret line. And it looks like that's going to be a false start on the Ramblers. Yep. So that'll be 5 yards. And now the Ramblers shooting themselves in the foot with a 3rd down penalty. So that makes it from 3rd and 7 to 3rd and 12 for Carteret. Brandon Outlaw playing right corner. Alderman playing left corner. Or check that, I'm sorry. Alderman is over there. Manny Herrera playing corner. All right. So Break takes the snap here, rolling left, and he's going to be bulldozed by David Straminsky. Straminsky straight. Straminsky met him at the left hash and just knocked him right over. So that's a loss of 8. That brings us to 4th and 20 from the 24-yard line. I don't think Carteret's going to kick it here now. If they had any intentions on kicking it, they're not going to do it now. So they'll have to go for it. 4th and 20 from the 24. They need to get to the 4-yard line. 5:15 to go in the first quarter. Trips to the right. 3 wide receivers for Carteret. Break out of the shotgun. Sharp to his left. Takes the snap. Drops back. Looks. He's going to throw it high. Right side. And it is going to be incomplete. Amir Alderman on the coverage. That one intended for number 2, Jahil Nix.
First down, Raiders.
So the penalty combined with the sack gets the Raiders out of trouble there. 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line for North Brunswick. Junior quarterback Christian Petrillo is in at QB. And out of the shotgun, takes the snap. Quick throw here to the right. Gives to Manny Herrera, and he'll get to the 26. Make it the 27 before he is stopped there. Look like Emmanuel Omoka on the tackle for Carteret. Manny Herrera, second on the team in receptions. Raiders will work out of the no huddle here on 2nd and 7. Petrillo out of the shotgun. Miles Bailey to his right. Bailey, sophomore, takes the snap and hands off to Bailey. Right hash and 30 and spins his way to about the 32 before he is pushed forward to get a couple more yards. So Miles Bailey, who had an impressive game last week against Colonia. Gain of 7 for Bailey. Good enough for a Raider first down.
First down,
There you hear from public address announcer Joel Chesler. First down, North Brunswick from the 34. Sean Berhini wide to the left. Petrillo will work out of the shotgun. Alderman coming in motion to the far side and hands off to Alderman, 35, and that's about it. Alderman on the carry. Tackled by Chris Pena, number 53. So it'll be second down at the 36, gain of 2. So second and 8 from the 36-yard line. So out of the shotgun, Chich here. He'll pitch to Bailey. He goes left. Bailey crossing, or actually, nope, back to the line of scrimmage.
Bailey on the carry. Tackle by Sharp.
Wayne Sharp on the stop. So no gain. It'll be third and 8 from the 36. Carteret on defense. Chris Pena, Desmond Bullock, David Pierre on that defensive front. We'll get to the rest. Third and 8 from the 36. Petrillo out of the shotgun. Alderman in motion to the near side. Takes the snap, rolling right, looking, and he's going to, that's a face mask. Yep, flag down. And Petrillo dragged down way in the backfield, back near the 20, but a face mask is going to be called here. Chris Pena grabbed the face mask of Petrillo before Demetrius Ruiz brought him down. So this should be a face mask on Carteret. And it is in, they're going to, let's see, they're going to bring it back to the line of scrimmage, I believe. Well, no, wait a minute. Okay. Face mask on Carteret. Ball's at the 31. So 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. And I think the Raiders might be a little confused here. I see Aaron R. looking at the sideline. So it's still a loss of 5. Third and 13 from the 31, and now the refs stop play here. Timeout, North Brunswick. I thought the Raiders looked a little confused there on what they were doing, so Mike Sipot wisely calls the timeout here. And I think Coach Sipot probably wants an explanation on why it's not a 15-yard face mask instead of a 5. So that's what he's getting right now from the referee. So we'll take a break here for the timeout. We'll come back. 2:12 left in the first quarter. No score between North Brunswick and Carteret. We'll be back on the King James Radio Network.
This week at Restoration Place, Lead with Love by Pastor John Bazemore Jr.
One of the best ways to recognize love or true love is what it leads you to do.
Restoration Place, every Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern at jamesisking.com.
All right, we come back off the timeout. Third and 13 for the Raiders here from their own 31-yard line. No score. Christian Petrillo out of the shotgun, dropping straight back, and steps up in the pocket, now rolls left, throws it left, and it's complete to Manny Herrera in Carteret territory at the 46-yard line. Manny Herrera on the catch, brought down by James Henderson.
Ball spotted at the 46-yard line. First down, Raiders.
Gain of 23 there from Petrillo to Herrera. First down on the Carteret 46. So split backfield for Petrillo. Bailey and Jarawala in there. Bailey up the middle has a whole 40 and down at about the 37-yard line. Tackled by Emmanuel Omoka. So the Raiders now starting to move the football here. Ball is spotted at the 37, so a gain of 9. Second and 1 from the 31-yard line. Petrillo again split backfield with Miles Bailey and Nikhil Jarawala, left and right respectively, out of the shotgun, hands off to Bailey on the draw. First down, 30 to the 25, tripped up at the last second by Jahil Nix. But it is good enough for a Raiders first down. Ball spotted at the 25, gain of 12 for Bailey. 1st and 10 from the 25, 55 seconds left in the first quarter. Again, Bailey and Jarawala in the backfield, split backfield. Brahini wide to the left. On 1st and 10, out of the shotgun, hands off here. That's Brandon Outlaw in the backfield and crosses to the 23, it looks like. So 2nd and 8 from the 23 with 28 seconds left in the first quarter. No score. We'll see if the Raiders decide to just let it run out or run another. No, they're going to run it. So 2nd down and 8. Bailey in the backfield along with Alderman. Fakes the handoff to Bailey. Petrillo rolling left. Now trying to get out of dodge, and he is sacked. Sacked by Demetrius Ruiz. We get a flag, though, with time running out. That's the end of the quarter. So let's see what the flag is. Looks like it's going to come back, whatever it is. Let's see, what do we have? Or they're just switching sides, one or the other. We still haven't gotten an indication on what the flag is. Holding against North Brunswick is declined. So the sack will stand, and that's the end of the first quarter. And so no score after 1 here at Steve Glebro Field. We will take a break, and we'll come back with the second quarter in just a moment. You're listening to North Brunswick Raiders football, presented by the North Brunswick Baseball and Softball Association and Route 1 Dental, and it's on the King James Radio Network. We start the second quarter. No score here between North Brunswick and Carteret. Glad you're with us at jamesisking.com. So with the penalty being declined off the sack from Demetrius Ruiz, the Raiders will have 3rd and 16 here from their own 31-yard line. They have to get to the Carteret 15-yard line for a first down. Did I say they were the Carteret 31-yard line? They have to get to the Carteret 15. So here we go. Split backfield for Christian Petrillo out of the shotgun. And Bailey going in motion this time. Takes the snap, drops back, stepping up in the pocket, now runs, goes left, flags down, 30, 20, gets out of bounds around the 15, but 2 flags down here. So it looks like this one's going to come back. And the Raiders again killing themselves with a 3rd down penalty, holding. And that's how Colonia stayed in the game last week. Just penalty after penalty. So this one will come back, and the Raiders put themselves in an even deeper hole. The ball will be spotted at about the 42-yard line, it looks like. No, 43. So you're looking at 3rd and 28 from the 43. Empty backfield, 5 wide receivers this time. Trips to the right. So Petrillo is going to air it out here, it looks like. Bailey in motion to the far side. Petrillo out of the shotgun, takes the snap. Here comes the rush. Petrillo stepping up. Now throws it left. And off the hands of Herrera. Off for Brahini. Incomplete and almost intercepted. It went through Herrera and Brahini. And Ethan Dota almost picking that off for Carteret. So it'll be 4th down. By the way, Dwayne Sharp, Emmanuel Mocha, Jordan DeMorla, and Zacchaeus Break, the linebackers for Carteret. Anthony DeGiglio, Jahil Nix, Diario DeMorla, and Ethan Dota in the secondary. But in the meantime, Aaron R. will punt on 4th and 28. Gets the snap at the 45, and his kick looked like it went off the side of his foot. A line drive to the Carteret 30, 34, 35, let's see. Yep, 35. So a short punt. They're about 22 yards, or they're about, 22 yards from the line of scrimmage. I'd say that was a 20-yard punt from where R kicked it. So it'll be first down Carteret from their own 35-yard line. So Zamar break with Henderson to his left. 2 wide receivers left for Carteret. Will work out of the shotgun. 11:36 to go in the first. Takes the snap. Rolling left. Stops. Reverses field going right. And Sean Brahini gets him for the sack. Second sack for the Raiders. First Straminsky and now Brahini. Ball is back at the 28. 2nd and 17 now for Carteret at the 28-yard line. So far the Raiders defense has held up. They've kept Carteret off the board, but I'm sure they'd like to get their offense going into the end zone. 2nd and 17 from the 28. So break will work out of the gun, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolling left, and wants to throw it, but Straminsky chases him down. David Straminsky. So again, back-to-back sacks for the Raiders just as it was last week, and Straminsky getting his second sack of the day. 2-yard loss. 3rd and 19 for Carteret from their own 26-yard line. So the Raiders really have Carteret pinned here. So let's see if North Brunswick can take advantage of it. Raiders poised for a turnover here if they can get it. Break out of the shotgun, and Henderson to his left takes the snap, throws it over the middle, completes it to Zacchaeus Break, and the helmet pops off, but not the ball. Amir Alderman's helmet pops off, but Break gets a first down on that. Throw it, Zamar Break, the older brother of Zacchaeus Break, threw it right over the middle. And so Zacchaeus Break with the reception, 23-yard reception on 3rd and 19. 1st and 10 now from the Carteret 49. 2 wide receivers right. Henderson to the right of Zamar Break. Takes the snap. He'll run it up the middle to the 50. Stop there. Looks like G.D. Marcellus on the tackle for the Raiders. So, again, Carteret getting out of huge trouble there on 3rd down. It'll be 2nd and 9 from midfield for the Ramblers with 8:57 to go in the first half. So Break out of the shotgun, takes the snap, drops back, looks, throws it, dumps it off in the flat here to Antorin Chandler, and he crosses midfield to about the 48. Looks like Herrera and Brahini on the tackle. So that'll bring us to 3rd down. 3rd down from the Raider 48. We're looking at 3rd and 7. So North Brunswick again could use another stop here. So 3rd and 7 from the 48. Zamar Break out of the shotgun here. Chandler to his left. 3 wide receivers left. Every time Break puts his hands out for the ball and then stops, there's a penalty. And it's offside on the Raiders. Something Break is doing seems to be throwing North Brunswick off their stride here. I'm not sure what it is. 3rd and 2 now from the Raider 43. That's the 3rd penalty on 3rd down for North Brunswick here. And now we get a whistle, and let's see, timeout Carteret. So the Ramblers call time with 7:38 to go here in the first half. No score between Carteret and North Brunswick. We will take a break, and we'll come back here to Steve Lebo Field in a moment. This is North Brunswick Raiders football on the King James Radio Network.
The King James Radio Network is now accepting inquiries this summer to broadcast games on our King James Jr. channel. If you have a youth baseball, basketball, or football game in the state of New Jersey that you want to be heard on the air, please send an email to kingjamesradio1@gmail.com with the date and time that you're looking for, and we'll let you know if we can make it. Inquiries are not guaranteed to be accepted based on a combination of availability and first come, first serve. We look forward to broadcasting your game on King James Jr., a channel of the King James Radio Network at jamesisking.com.
We come back now to Steve Lebo Field. 3rd and 2 for Carteret from the North Brunswick 43-yard line. 7:38 to go in the first half. No score. Trips to the left here for the Ramblers. Out of the shotgun, Zamar Brake. And he'll take the snap, runs it up the middle, but he's going to be stopped. I don't think he got it. Kawana Dolo, David Straminski, all kinds of blue jerseys in front of him. Ball spotted at the 43, so no gain. And Carteret will punt. So 4th and 2 from the 43. So back to punt for Carteret is Ethan Doda. And we'll see. Low snap, gets past Doda. He picks it up at the 40. He's going to try to run. Doda's going to be tackled back at the 35-yard line. Kawana Dolo, Nikhil Jarawala. That one was a low snap. Doda never really got a hold of it. Although when Doda did pick it up, he still had time to kick the football away, but just didn't. He froze. 1st and 10 at the 35. So North Brunswick getting a huge break here. They have the ball at the Carteret 35-yard line. So tremendous field position. Christian Petrillo with Miles Bailey to his left. Trips to the right. Herrera, Alderman, and R. And takes the snap. Quick throw to the right and Alderman. 40, 35, right side, 30. And just short of the 25-yard line. Tackled by number 7, Jordan DeMorla. So Alderman on the catch. Ball is spotted at the 27. So, yep, 2nd down and 2. Clock running, 6:19 to go in the half. Again, no score here. North Brunswick and Carteret. 2 wide receivers left. Petrillo out of the gun. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Bailey. Rolls left, now looks right. Throws it. Deep ball, right side end zone. Wide open is Miles Bailey. He walks into the end zone. Touchdown, North Brunswick Raiders. Miles Bailey as wide open as you could possibly be for the easy touchdown reception. And the Raiders lead it 6-0. A breakdown in coverage there for Carteret. Aaron R. will come on to kick the extra point. Christian Petrillo to hold. Snap, spot, R's kick is good. So with 5 minutes and 59 seconds left to go here in the first half, North Brunswick 7, Carteret nothing. We'll take our break and we'll come back with North Brunswick Raiders football on the King James Radio Network. Aaron R. kicks it off here and it goes from right to left, picking it up James Henderson. No, he gets the handoff rather, and he'll go 25-30 left side, 35-40 midfield, and still going, 40 and still going. And look at this. Are you kidding? Henderson actually handed it off, it looks like, to Rozelle Austin, and he goes for the touchdown for Carteret. So Henderson to Austin, but it's going to come back. Holding against. Well, I'm not. Oh, wait, block in the back. I'm sorry, block in the back. So, yeah, block in the back there against Carteret, so it'll come back. So the touchdown negated. But Carteret will still have the ball in North Brunswick territory at the 40-yard line. So 1st and 10 Carteret from the North Brunswick 40 with 5:41 to go in the first half. 7-0 Raiders. Zamar break out of the shotgun. Sharp to his right, and Henderson in the backfield takes the snap, dropping back here, dumps it left, completes it to Henderson at the 40, breaks a tackle, 35, far side 30, and tackled at about the 29. So a big gain there for Henderson. Brandon Outlaw on the tackle. So that will be good enough for a Carteret first down at the North Brunswick 28. Clock running, 5:22 to go here in the half. Carteret has one timeout remaining. So Zamar break again out of the gun here with Dwayne Sharp to his right. Takes the snap, hands off. This will be Antorin Chandler, and he's going to be stopped. Manny Herrera was the first one to get to him, and then Kwana Dolo helping to wrap up. So, ball spotted at the 26, 2nd and 8 from the 26-yard line with 4:48 to go in the half. We'll see if Carteret tries to run the clock down here to not give the Raiders a chance with the ball here. The Raiders do get the ball to start the second half. So 2nd down. Sharp to the right. And Henderson behind break here. Out of the shotgun. Takes the snap, drops back, looking left, throws it left, completes it at the 20. And Brandon Outlaw trying to drag down Diario DeMorla. And ball will be spotted at the 16, it looks like. Which is a 10-yard gain. That's a 10-yard gain. And another Carteret first down. So 1st and 10 from the 16, 4 minutes to go in the half. 2 wide receivers right for the Ramblers. Again, Henderson behind break, and we get a whistle. Flag goes down. This time, illegal procedure / false start against Carteret. So that will hurt the Ramblers here. 1st and 15 now from the 21 with 3:43 and counting before halftime. Now, I know that the 1992 North Brunswick Raiders are being honored here today. As break out of the shotgun, takes the snap, hands off to Henderson, trying to go right, but he's going to be wrapped up. I believe that was Angel Gonzalez on the tackle.
Henderson on the carry.
So, gain of 1 gets to the 20. 2nd and 14. So the Raiders have done a good job here with the Carteret running game. They have not allowed Carteret to run roughshod here. 2nd and 14 from the 20. Break out of the shotgun, takes the snap, and hands off to Henderson, cuts it inside to about the 15 before Alex Rossman stops him there. So just inside the 15. So we'll call it a gain of 6, 3rd and 8 from the 14 with 2:27 left to go in the half. And again, North Brunswick 7, Carteret nothing. So this time, Diario DeMorla wide to the left. Sharp to the right of Brake. Henderson behind him, and now they'll shift. Now it's Henderson to the right of Brake, and we get a flag here, way in the end zone. Delay of game, Carteret. So now 3rd and 13 from the 19-yard line, and now Carteret shooting themselves in the foot with third down penalties. 3rd and 13 from the 19 with 2:01 to go in the half. Again, Carteret still has one timeout. Zamar Brake out of the shotgun. Henderson behind him, takes the snap, drops back, looks. He'll throw it right side, end zone, overthrows it, incomplete. Intended for Stephon Kelly Gordon. Amir Alderman on the coverage. It'll be 4th down. 4th and 13 from the 19. I don't think Carteret's going to kick a field goal here. It would be 36 yards, thereabouts, 35, 36 yards if they were to try it. So it looks like Carteret will go for it here. And the Raiders trying to get their second red zone stop of the day. So 4th and 13 from the 19. Zamar Brake with Sharp to his left. And we get a whistle. A lot of movement there from Brake. It's almost like he's hesitating. And illegal procedure call against Carteret. So now 4th and 18 from the 24, which means Carteret, they still got to get to the 6-yard line for a first down. 1:54 left to go here in the second quarter. So again, Diario DeMorla off to the left, along with Dota. Brake out of the shotgun, takes the snap, drops back. Here comes the rush. He's running right, trying to get away, breaks a tackle at the 30, throws it, end zone, jump ball, incomplete. Amir Alderman on the coverage. Pass intended for Jahil Nix. And so the Raiders will take over on downs. And so the Raiders get the stop. Again, their second red zone stop of the afternoon. It will be 1st and 10 from their own 24-yard line. We'll see if the Raiders can add on a few more points before the half. They almost did last week against Colonia, but that's another story. Christian Petrillo will work out of the shotgun. Manny Herrera flanking to the left of Petrillo. And now Alderman comes in motion, and he'll go ahead and hand off here to Alderman. And he's got, is that Herrera? Let me see. Going towards the 50-yard line. Ball comes loose. Alderman, check that, Herrera was tackled at the 49. And it looks like the Raiders will keep it. So Herrera with the carry, a 24-yard gain. 1st and 10. Raiders in hurry up. Petrillo out of the gun. Rolling left. Back at the 40. Throws it left side. And Geeston trying to keep his feet in bounds. He does. Tyree Geeston. Great concentration there from Geeston to keep his feet in bounds. Drag the toes. Ball is at the 43-yard line of Carteret. Gain of 9. 2nd and 1. With 1:21 to go in the half. So 2nd and 1. Bailey lined up as a wide receiver to the left. We got 5 wides here. Chips to the right. Bailey now comes in motion, flanking Petrillo. Takes the snap. Christian dropping straight back, throws it, dumps it, but he's going to be drilled by Sharp there. The catch from to Bailey. But Dwayne Sharp on the tackle. No gain. 3rd and 1, and the Raiders call time. So North Brunswick facing a 3rd and 1 from the 43-yard line of Carteret. We'll take a break. We'll come back with Raiders football on the King James Radio Network. We come back now to Steve Lebro Field with 1 minute, 8 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. North Brunswick 7, Carteret nothing. The Raiders will have 3rd and 1 from the Carteret 43-yard line. North Brunswick, if I'm correct, I believe the Raiders have 1 timeout remaining. So each team with a timeout. Christian Petrillo out of the shotgun. Bailey to his right. Trips to the right. Takes the snap. Rolling right. Option looks like. And he'll cross the 40. Ball pops loose. Fumble. Does Carteret have it? They do. Diario DeMorla recovers the fumble. Petrillo was hit. The ball popped loose. And DeMorla recovers it for the Ramblers. So it looked like Petrillo would have had the first down, but the Raiders committing their first turnover. And it'll go to Carteret, 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line with exactly 1 minute to go in the first half. So we'll see if the Ramblers take advantage. So first down, trips to the right for Carteret, break out of the shotgun, quick throw to the right, completes it, 40, 45, and Amir Alderman on the tackle. Jahil Nix on the catch. Ball spotted at the 45. So 2nd and 5. Clock running. 40 seconds to go in the half. Break out of the gun. Dropping straight back. Throws it left and incomplete. At the 49, at the Raider 49, through the hands of Nix. Doda, excuse me. Ethan Doda. I'm so grateful that Mr. Chesler does not pay attention to me. 3rd and 5 from the Raider 40. I'll check that, the Carteret 45. 33 seconds to go in the half. Again, trips to the left here for the Ramblers. Break out of the shotgun, hands off to Sharp, and stutter steps. 47, 50, still on his feet, and trying to stiff arm Outlaw, going to the far sideline, and is forced out of bounds at about the 47. And that looks like, yep, it'll be a Carteret first down. So gain of 9 for Sharp, and it'll be 1st and 10. Carteret from the Raider 46. Clock stops with 22 seconds left in the half. Carteret still has a long way to go. 1st and 10 from the Raider 46. Zamar break out of the shotgun. It looks like Chandler in the backfield. No, that's Sharp. Takes the snap, then throws it left, completes it to Diario DeMorla. Outlaw trying to bring him down at the 38. They stay in bounds. Carteret will have to get to the line or call their timeout. With 13 seconds left, it looks like Carteret does call a timeout. So Matt Yasko calling a timeout, his final one of the half for the Ramblers. Gain of 8 on that catch to DeMorla. And it will be 2nd down and 2 from the Raider 38-yard line. So Carteret has to go 38 yards in 13 seconds with no timeouts. So 2nd and 2 from the 38. And the Raider defense has held Carteret off the board to this point, so they'll need one more stop here before the half. So Carteret moving from left to right. 2nd and 2 at the Raider 38. Zamar break out of the shotgun. Dwayne Sharp to his left. Diario DeMorla wide left. Takes the snap. Trots back. Looks. Throws it left side. Incomplete. Double coverage there from Manny Herrera and Brandon Outlaw. Intended for DeMorla. So that'll be 3rd down and 2. Short yardage situation for Carteret, but the problem is they only have 8 seconds left. They pretty much have to go to the end zone here, or close to it, and probably have to throw it along the sideline unless they go end zone. Looks like they're going to go end zone here because they've got 4 wide receivers, 3 to the right. Break out of the shotgun, takes the snap, drops back, and has time. He'll give his receiver some time. He's going to throw it up there, end zone, and through the back of the end zone and incomplete. And that will do it for the first half. So the Raiders defend. They hold on to a 7-0 lead at halftime. And so the Raiders, for the second straight week, hold their opponents to 7 points or less. They held Colonia to 7 points in the first half last week and hold Carteret to nothing here. So we'll take our break, and then we will come back here to Steve Rebo Field. 7-0 North Brunswick at the half. We'll break. We'll come back with North Brunswick Raiders football on the King James Radio Network. We come back here to Raiders football on the King James Radio Network. We're at halftime as the Raiders lead it by a score of 7-0 here over Carteret. And, well, lo and behold, a nice surprise here in the press box today. He is the high school football analyst for the Home News Tribune. He's, going around the GMC. He went around the GMC during the preseason for their, the annual camp caravan that they have, and stopped by here to check out the game today. Former high school football coach at East Brunswick, and nice enough to join us here at halftime in the press box. Marcus Borden joins us here for a few minutes, and Coach, we were just talking about on both sides, quite a few third down penalties on both sides. You being a coach, I'm sure those third down penalties drive you bananas. Tell me about that a little bit.
Well, I think there's been a lot of penalties on both sides of the ball. I think we're throwing a curveball today, playing an afternoon game. 2 teams that are used to playing on a Friday night. Now you're coming and playing a 12 o'clock game on a Saturday. It's a hot summer-like weekend, even though we christened fall. And, it's tough out there. I'm standing out there just with a video on my phone, and it's pretty warm. These guys are blue on blue today. So, this is going to come out to the battle of wills, who's in better condition and shape. Obviously, North Brunswick's used to running a no-huddle offense. They're well-conditioned. Carteret is more of a smash-mouth type team, although they've taken to the air this year with Brake. And, hey, listen, he's an exciting player. So, it's been a close first half, just as you would expect.
What have the Raiders been doing defensively to slow down Brake? It seems like Carteret really hasn't gotten into a rhythm yet.
Well, I think one of the things is, what are you going to do? You're going to go out there and try to pressure him. He hasn't been pressured that much that I've seen in in his first 2 games. I think that was a good defensive philosophy to come out here, put some pressure on him. I've also seen some double coverage out there, especially on DeMorla and situations. So, hey, listen, break the break is a tough combo down the middle of the field. I would not be surprised to see that coming back in the second half.
Zacchaeus Brake, the younger brother of Zamar Brake. Who are you concerned with more? Are you concerned more with Brake or DeMorla? Zacchaeus Brake or DeMorla?
Right now, I know they're going to go downtown again to DeMorla. I mean, he's a go-to guy. So you can expect that's coming back. I would think they would try to establish the run a little bit more. They didn't run the ball very much. Antaron Chandler, who was their, one of their best backs last year, has been hampered with an ankle. So we've seen him sparingly in the preseason. Actually, I didn't see him at all in the preseason. I know he was played sparingly in the opening day game against J.P. Stevens. Today I thought he would get some more, but he hasn't been out there that much.
And on the North Brunswick side, you were talking about the Miles Bailey before. Really not he had a good game against Colonia last week. I think they took him off of special teams this week because they want to try to keep him fresh.
Get him to rock. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the way he runs. He's tough. He's physical. They have a decent-sized line. You got 3rd and 1 over there. I might have tried to give him the rock and say, I got 2 shots at it. third and 1, 4th and 1. Let's see you stop my best runner. Nothing to take away from Petrillo and let him get to the outside and make plays, and he does. But I'd give the ball right then and there, get the first down. Let's see if we can score and go up 2 before half. That was a big sequence there. And, hey, listen, we've got a whole second half to play.
On the North Brunswick side, would you like to, because I guess for me the whole season, I've been watching the receivers and there's only one ball, and you mentioned Bailey's going to get it most of the time, but how do you get the receivers and everybody else involved just to keep Carteret off of Bailey?
Well, I think what you need to do is continue to do what they've done. They've got the quick screens, they've got the rockets, the jets. Get the ball in as many of your playmakers' hands as you can. But when it comes down to it, in a crunch time, I'd get the ball in Bailey's hands, and I'd let Cheech have the ball, and he's made some nice throws, a couple of great catches on the sideline over here that I couldn't see real clear from the other side of the field. I'll be on this side second half to get a feel. Plus, I guess the sun might be all over there, too.
Yes, you're probably better off. Now, Tyree Geaston, you were talking about making that nice catch, keeping the toes in bounds on the sideline over here. So before I get to some of the other places that you're going to, as far as the winner of this game, if Carteret wins, they go to 3-0. If North Brunswick wins, it's their first win. For which team is this game more important?
I think North Brunswick's looking to get over that hurdle. They played exceptionally well in 2 games. You're in a game 14-14 with St. Joe's, which I think is one of the top teams in the white division. You're leading Colonia, who I think is one of the other top teams. You got them down 12-7 going into fourth quarter. These guys are trying to find a way to win, and I know that Coach has put them in position, and they have to believe in what he's doing. There's no doubt that everybody does not want to play North Brunswick right now. All the coaches are commenting about how well drilled they are, how they've improved tremendously. They have a vision. They got an offense that's a pain in the butt because they line up quickly. They're running a no-huddle and trying to take advantage of their athletes. They're going to make it. Is it today? I don't know. But right now it's 7-0. I'd feel pretty good about it, coming out with the ball. If you got something that you haven't shown yet in the first half that you're going to get yourself up 14-0 and say, hey, now it's got to be the break show, and can he bring them back like he's done in the past? I don't know. I would like to see what the second half has to bring.
Very interesting dynamic you mentioned there with Zamar Brake. As far as getting to some of the other Woodbridge over South Plainfield last night. Perth Amboy winning,
yes.
some topsy-turvy in the white division.
Beauty of high school football. You say, well, hey, Perth Amboy hasn't won too many games in the last 10, 11 years, whatever. They go out and they play well. Tajmir O'Neal's back in the lineup, has a great game. So here you go. Some guys that are sleepwalking maybe. They're hey, listen, we should win this game. Well, maybe you should win this game on paper, but we don't play the game on paper. South Plainfield goes against Woodbridge. Woodbridge hasn't scored any points. They've lost their quarterback, Taban Donovan, who's a great athlete. They're trying to find their way. They haven't been able to put any points on the board. They always play tough, aggressive defense. They get a break. They get the ball into one of Glover's hands, and that's the younger Glover, and he makes some things happen, and there you go. I mean, you shut down South Plainfield and get their first win. So, hey, you got to be ready week in and week out. That's just the way it is.
St. Joe's and Colonia, that game at the top of the white division. St. Joe's comes out on top. Was it what you expected it to be?
Well, I wasn't there. I've seen Colonia. I know they're a well-drilled football team. And and I've been at many of those battles, whether it's at Joe's or at Colonia, with those two teams. They have played classic games, at tough physical games each time. So was it surprising? No.
And, I saw South Brunswick lost to Piscataway.
Yeah, it was a tough game last night. I'll tell you what, there's another team that in the first half had tremendous potential. Quinones was running the ball very effectively, but there were too many penalties bringing back big plays. And then I happened to catch one in the end zone for about a 90, whatever it was, touchdown pass off a play action to Shorter, who took it to the house. And, that's called back. Procedure was somebody not lined properly. They were in a formation that was kind of funky. 2 receivers to the right that should have been on the line of scrimmage. Two wing backs, and there goes Shorter like faking a break and then bursting down the field. Great throw, but hey, called back the game got interesting when it was 21-14. I caught the shot, a ball off of Schroeder's hands right into Dylan Lawson, and I mean, here we go. I mean, they're right back in it, but Jawan Jackson, too much of him last night. 200 yards. He's a phenomenal back, and the offensive line by Peeway just took over.
It seems like we ask the same question almost every year. Can anyone stop Peeway?
I look at it this way. The only one that stops Peeway is Peeway. They have tremendous athletes. They're well drilled. It's a matter of how they go out and execute. Can somebody come in and have a game plan for them to slow them down? I mean, and do what they need to do? Yeah, but you got to be almost perfect when you play those guys. So, hey. Once again, Peeway's in the driver's seat, but they're going to play Sayreville next. They got a week off to come back, play Sayreville in 2 weeks. You never know.
Coach Higgins, year in and year out with that team and that program. Now, jumping to the Blue Division, the smaller schools, I was talking with Greg Matros from GMC Gridiron before the game about teams like Spotswood and South River and Middlesex. He was telling me Middlesex has lights now, so they play some night games now. But tell me about what's your take on the Blue Division?
Well, I saw South River dominate Spotswood at home, and I mean they are a good football team. Travis Thomas is a tremendous athlete. DeSantis at quarterback is, one of the top performers in the league. They play tough defense. Kenny Cross out there on both sides of the ball. Today they have a big one, and, I was going there, but I've already seen them play. I wanted to get over here today to see North Brunswick Carteret in real action. I obviously saw him in a game scrimmage, but I wanted to see him for real in a real game. Now I get on the North Brunswick sideline. I like to be in the mix of the things, hear how guys are handling the situation and how the kids are handling it. It's exciting. But I think South River if they can win today against Bishop R, who had a forfeit win for their first, game of the year, and then lost a tough 18-0 game. I guess it was a Shore. Hey, you got to go out and play.
One more, and then I'll let you get back down to the sideline for the second half. I wanted to talk to you about this before, the merger with the Mid-State 38 Conference coming up for next year. Two things, actually. Number one, the merger. What effect will that have on teams in the GMC? I guess maybe logistically, travel schedules, things like that. Tell me about that a little bit.
It's really not a merger. It's an agreement to be able to play some crossover games. We're not becoming a super conference, which I was totally against the super conference. Hey, listen, you're trying to help out the guys with the smaller schools get a schedule. We had a relationship with the Shore. The Shore pretty much pounded up on the smaller schools, and the big schools are pretty much like 500. So I think it's a good scenario. We'll end up going against some of those Union County guys that are up there in that league. Hey, listen, the best thing that's on the agenda is the potential for changing the format for the playoffs in December, voting that on. I think that's the biggest thing out there. Can we get to one step closer to that state championship? I think if that passes, I think there's a possibility there. The leagues are going to be the leagues. They're going to stay as they are. There'll be some changes for the playoffs if this plan goes through, and I think that's what's exciting.
One more there. I see the Raiders are taking the field for the second half. I read the article about replay potentially coming to New Jersey in some way, shape, or form, some modified or limited version of instant replay on the high school football level. In favor, not in favor?
In favor. I've been saying it for 2 years with the technology that's available. I believe that a high school football coach ought to have one challenge per game. One. You got to throw the red flag out. You got a challenge. It may be the most critical play in the game. You have huddle, sideline cams. And I'm talking about sideline. I'm shooting with my phone. I get some tremendous plays and shots and say, wait a minute, that guy was in. Hey, look at my phone. I can bring my phone out there and show it to the official. So, there's opportunity for coaches to use iPads. The school districts have pads. Listen, it's not like anything different. You're going to pay for a Wi-Fi scenario that's you don't have to pay for Wi-Fi because Huddle Sideline offers you that opportunity. Many of the schools have been using Huddle. I was using it way back. We were on a pilot program when they started in high school. It's a great tool. I think we need to move in that direction. Try it as in some of the leagues. Try it out. See how it goes as a pilot program. And hey, I think it's got potential.
There you hear from Marcus Borden, again, high school football analyst at the Home News Tribune and mycentraljersey.com, and you can check him out there. So, Coach, I appreciate you coming by for halftime, and I'll let you get down there. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Corbett, thank you very much.
All right, no problem. So, yep, Marcus Borden, nice enough to join us here. And, talk a little bit about, again, that agreement that we mentioned with the Mid-State 38 Conference, and also about the potential or the possibility of instant replay in high school football in New Jersey. It's probably coming sooner or later, whether the purists want it or not. It's probably coming. So we'll take a break here, and actually we'll get to that excerpt I was talking about with the ladies Wednesday night with NFL Female, and then we'll come back for Our Turf Football. They changed the name to Our Turf Football. So we'll get to that excerpt now, and then we'll come back with the second half of North Brunswick and Carteret. This is Raiders Football on the King James Radio Network.
All right. Now, I don't want Giants fans getting all over me about this, but, the New York Giants were talked about constantly in the offseason about, they could be the team, the way this is put together. They could be fabulous. We always say on this podcast, everything's shiny on paper, but once you get it on the field, things can get a little muddled. The defense is not the problem. The Giants right now are 0-2, losing last night to the Lions. This is not on the defense. You watch the way they play. This is not their fault. This lies completely at the feet of the offense, including that quarterback, which impressively, Coach called him out. He said it was sloppy quarterback play, and I kudos to him because, usually you don't mess with the Mannings. It's not how it rolls.
Right.
But they were all bad. So let me talk to you a little bit about so far what's been going on. They have had one touchdown. One. Now, so the Seahawks, I don't want to get all that crap too. I get that. They've had 2 interceptions. They are struggling terribly. 406 yards over 2 games. Brady had 400 yards all by himself last week in New Orleans. So there's just a huge disconnect. Brandon Marshall is not getting, what he thought he would be getting at that team. Now, yes, Odell Beckham Jr. didn't play in the first game, and he was obviously not himself in the second game. That's not enough. If you have your entire offense wrapped up in one player, that's bad coaching and bad planning. And I don't think that's what's going on here. We are going to have a whole conversation about offensive lines and how offensive they are right now, later on in the show. But with the Giants, I think, Lisa, and this is the question I pose to you, if they do not win in week 3, and I think they play the Eagles, I'm about ready to put a fork in them.
Yeah, they were talking about it, during the game because the adjustments that just weren't being made. You look at that line, you look at Flowers was just getting beat all night long.
Absolutely.
They made absolutely 0 adjustments to get that guy some help over there. So, Eli was under duress from that side of the line all night long. Granted, when you're sitting there watching the game, it was very uncharacteristic of Eli Manning. He was holding the ball way too long, and like you said, where is Brandon Marshall? I mean, everybody's like, he's like non-existent.
There's no chemistry between the two of them.
There's
at
none.
all.
And, he got a couple catches, but then he dropped that one. So, it's just they look off. And honestly, some of the play calling I questioned. I mean, I know you can call your quarterback out, but you might want to look in the mirror and call yourself out sometimes because some of the play calling I questioned. You knew Eli was having a bad night. You take a delay of game penalty on a 4th and goal. I mean, come on,
Disaster.
right then. So it just seems like you said, as a whole, they're just not in sync with each other. So, and honestly, Dana, it starts with that offensive line. They are getting trashed at that line of scrimmage.
Right, and we are going to talk about offensive lines, like I said, here in a little bit, and theirs definitely is one of the worst in the league. At the same time, you brought up a good point, and Eli Manning owned this. He said, he had to get the ball off quicker, but McAdoo said flat out, he was like, the quarterback and the center need to have a rhythm, and they don't. I think that there is just something going on, and there's been question marks thrown out there today. Is Eli Manning on the decline? Well, he's been playing forever. Of course he is at some point, But at the same time, what is going on in New York cannot be laid at the feet of one player. It can't. It's the entire offense is absolutely anemic. And I think they only have one game to turn it around in, and which is too bad. But in this league, especially in that division, you have no wiggle room there. So I'm real worried for the Giants. My sister is a huge New York Giants fan. Why, I don't know, but she's a huge New York
As is
Giants
my
fan.
family. My family too up there.
That's right. And my sister loved Lawrence Taylor, and it just stuck. So, but at the same time, and I was talking to her, and she said it was embarrassing, and I'm seeing that a lot. This is embarrassing. You have that defense that obviously has come to play, and the offense is letting them down. They're not the only team that are like that right now, but they seem to kind of stick out mostly like the sore thumb. Dana and Lisa here from Our Turf Football to tell you that the Our Turf podcast is up and running for the 2017 football season.
Did you know that women make up over 45% of all NFL fans and counting? Here at Our Turf, we have our own take on what's happening around the National Football League with special features, previews, reports from our official fan reporters covering each team, and interviews with players and personalities who have the scoop on what's happening. Women are in the know when it comes to football, and it's time the rest of the world knew it too.
Our Turf Football is every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on the King James Radio Network at jamesisking.com.
So we come back to Raiders football as the Raiders take the field here for the second half. North Brunswick leads at 7-0 over the Carteret Ramblers. We'll get you some quick Raiders stats here in just a moment. I'm just totaling up everything now. So we'll get you all of that. So let's see here. Bear with me here 1 second. Miles Bailey catching a couple of passes out of the backfield for the Raiders. Bailey has 2 catches for 27 yards with a touchdown reception. Christian Petrillo is 5 of 6 in the air for 70 yards. He has 1 carry for 3 yards. Chich not as mobile as he probably liked to be with that nagging ankle. But 5 of 6 for 70 yards and a touchdown for Chich Petrillo. Miles Bailey with the touchdown reception. He has 2 catches for 27. Let's see. Manny Herrera, 2 catches for 26 yards. Bailey on the ground, 4 carries for 28. You heard Marcus Borden say, if he were North Brunswick, he'd like to see Miles Bailey, continue to get the ball. The Raiders will have it here to start the second half. Again, North Brunswick in the blue jerseys with the white numbers, the blue helmets, the royal blue helmets with the double gold stripe down the middle, the player jersey number on the right side of the helmet, blue pants. Carteret in the road white with the light blue pants, the light blue, blue letters and numbers. Ramblers on the front, the number underneath and on the back. White helmets with the Ramblers insignia, spelled Ramblers, on the side of the helmet. So we will get the second half kick here for Carteret. And kicking it off was Jahil Nix, and it'll go over to the 11-yard line, and this is Amir Alderman coming to the near side, 20, 25, 30, and he is tackled toward the near sideline here, just in front of the 30-yard line. So Amir Alderman. So the Raiders with a 7-0 lead and the ball to start the second half. First and 10, North Brunswick from their own 32-yard line. And the Raiders will go from left to right on your internet radio. Christian Petrillo, again, junior quarterback, out of the shotgun. Miles Bailey to his left. Petrillo, hands out, takes the snap, dropping straight back, dumps it off here in the flat to Alderman. Breaks 1 tackle, flag down. Alderman trying to stretch the ball out with his arm to the 38-yard line. David Pierre, number 71, on the stop for Carteret. Again, flag down, and it's going to come back. And a block in the back against North Brunswick, so not a good start there. So the Raiders will be up against it right from the get-go here in the third quarter.
10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Ball is spotted at the 24, which means 1st and 18. So 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Petrillo out of the gun. Hands off to Bailey, up the middle on the draw, across the 25 to the 27, being held by Dwayne Sharp there. And Sharp will get credit for the tackle. Bailey, who put on 15 pounds of muscle in the offseason, trying to muscle his way past Sharp. So ball spotted at the 28, 2nd and 14 from the 28-yard line. Just a minute gone by here in the third quarter. Aaron R. wide to the right. I know that the Raiders would like to get Aaron, a little more involved in the offense. Sean Brahini wide to the left, and now Bailey coming out into the slot here to the near side. Looks like 4 wide receivers now. Bailey in motion and takes the handoff from Petrillo, 30, and crosses the 30 to about the 32, it looks like. Before he was tripped up there. Jordan DeMorla on the stop. And I see Mike Saipot probably looking to go more to Bailey here to try to eat up some of that clock here in the second half. Ball spotted at the 33-yard line, so gain of 5. You're looking at 3rd and 9 for the Raiders. Petrillo with trips to the right. Bailey to his left, out of the gun, takes the snap, drops back, looking, and now trying to get out of there. Looking left, throws it left, and it is incomplete. Intended for Amir Alderman. And Ethan Doda on the coverage for Carteret. So 3 and out for the Raiders here to start the second half. So 4th and 9 from the 33. Aaron R. will punt. He stands at his own 20. Back deep for Carteret at his own 33 on the punt return. For the Ramblers, I believe that's Rozelle Austin. And yep, this one sails over Austin's head, bounces at the 20, takes a Raider bounce 10, down to the 6, and down towards the 5-yard line. So good job there by Aaron R. and the punt team. So yep, it'll be a first down for the Ramblers. They're right at the 5-yard line. Justin Jenkins downing that one. So Carteret with a long way to go, down 7-0 here with 9:41 to go in the third quarter. Raiders lead it by a score of 7-0. Samar Brake at quarterback. Brake throws it right and incomplete. Intended for Gordon there. So it'll be second down for the Ramblers. So Brake once again out of the shotgun. And this time we'll hand off and trying to go up the middle, not getting much. That is Henderson. James Henderson. Samad Wingo on the stop. So Carteret up against it. Loss of 1 and 3rd down and 11 from the 5. So Brake out of the shotgun, takes the snap, drops back in the end zone, throws it right, and it is incomplete. Miles Bailey on the coverage, intended for Zacchaeus Brake. So that will bring up 4th down. Oh, there's a flag down. And if you're Raider Nation, the last thing you need is a 3rd down penalty. Yep. Illegal man downfield called against Carteret, which is declined. And that'll bring up 4th down. Carteret will have to punt. So, punting for Carteret, Ethan Dota. And he's about 7 yards deep in the end zone. Low snap and gets it away. Tyree Geeston catches it at the Carteret 40. And 40 trying to start her step. 37, 36, 30, about the 35. Before he is wrapped up there. So Geeston on the return. So the Raiders will have it. 1st and 10.
First down, Raiders.
1st and 10, North Brunswick Raiders from the Carteret 35-yard line with 8 minutes, 38 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Raiders lead it by a score of 7-0. We've got 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Make it 5. Trips to the left. Petrillo. Now here comes Alderman in motion. Out of the shotgun, hands off to Alderman. Cuts it back towards the middle. And he is wrapped up. Crossing the 35-yard line. On the tackle for Carteret is Emmanuel Omoka. Ball at the 33, so gain of 2 for Alderman. 2nd and 8 from the 33. Raiders in a no huddle. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Petrillo out of the gun, takes the snap, hands off to Bailey on the draw, and doesn't get much of anything. The Carteret front right there to stop him.
Bailey on the carry.
Desmond Bullock, number 52, on the stop. So now you're looking at 3rd and 7 from the 34. Again, Raiders here in a hurry up. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Petrillo out of the shotgun, dropping straight back. Looks, throws it over the middle, and it's intercepted. Taken away here by Carteret. That's DeMorla. Diario DeMorla back to the 35, dragging a man across the 40, and now knocked out of bounds at about the 43. Diario DeMorla was standing right in front of that one, and an easy pick. And that was, the thing with Christian Petrillo was, the good thing you were seeing with Chich was Chich wasn't making the big mistake in the first 2 games. He wasn't throwing that crucial interception, but threw one there. So 1st and 10 Carteret, 2nd turnover of the day for the Raiders. 1st and 10 Carteret from their own 45-yard line. With 7:24 to go in the third, Zamar break with a hard count. Seeing if he can draw the Raiders offside. Out of the shotgun, takes the snap, pitches to Henderson on the right, 45, 50, has a seam, 45 into North Brunswick territory at the 40. Finally dragged down by the jersey by Amir Alderman. And a big gain for James Henderson, who's just coming off of injury. Gain of 20 for Henderson. And the Ramblers will have it 1st and 10 at the North Brunswick 35. Coming up on 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Diario DeMorla to the left, break out of the gun, takes the snap, hands off to Henderson, tries to go right, stiff arms a man, gets to about the 31 before he is tackled there out of bounds on the far sideline. Sean Brahimi, along with Kwana Dolo. Flag down. It's against Carteret, it looks like. But wait a minute. Let me make sure. Yep. So it is against the Ramblers. A holding call. So it'll come back. Both teams have really hurt themselves with penalties today. So the ball will be spotted at the 43-yard line of the Raiders. So a net loss of 8. 1st and 18. 2 wide receivers left for the Ramblers. And Zamar break. Out of the shotgun, sharp in front, and takes the snap, drops back, looking. Looking, throws it right, completes it. No! Taken away by Bailey. Miles Bailey on the interception. That was intended for Stephon Gordon. Bailey cuts it off. And Bailey gets the pick to get the ball back. First interception of the year for Bailey. He had one last year as well. And so the Raiders get it back. First turnover for Carteret. 1st and 10 North Brunswick from their own 35-yard line. Petrillo out of the shotgun. Now we'll run it straight up the middle. 35-40 and tripped up at about the 44. So Christian Petrillo using some mobility there. Malik Austin on the tackle, number 31 for Carteret. So gain of 8 it looks like. 2nd and 2 from the 44. So Petrillo out of the shotgun. Bailey behind him. He'll pitch it to Bailey. Trying to come to the near side. Cuts it back in. 40, 45. Doesn't have the first down. Dwayne Sharp and Jahil Nix on the tackle for Carteret. Well, they spotted at the 46, so they do give him the first down. So Bailey does get the first down. Bailey only had 4 carries for 28 yards in the first half. 1st and 10 from the 46, split backfield. Petrillo takes the snap out of the gun, takes it and gives it to Bailey. Ball pops loose. Fumble at the 47. Carteret says they have it, and they do. And Bailey comes up hobbling. So not only did Bailey lose the ball, but he comes up hobbling. Mike Saipot's probably going to get him out of there, yet Bailey comes limping off the field. Might have twisted something there. So the Raiders with their 3rd turnover of the game. And it'll be 1st and 10 Carteret from the 47. And now Bailey, I believe he went down there on the side in front of the sideline. So athletic trainer Jackie Morrison will check on him. But the Raiders with their 3rd turnover of the game. And now they have to hope that it doesn't come back to get them here. 5:09 to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll take a break here. Yeah, they're checking out Bailey there near the sideline. So we'll take a short break here for the injury timeout. And then we'll come back. North Brunswick 7, Carteret nothing. 5:09 left in the 3rd. We'll break. We'll come back with Raiders football on the King James Radio Network. We come back. Miles Bailey comes off the field, and he's standing and upright at least. Jackie Morrison will check him out on the sideline. So 1st and 10 Carteret from the Raider 47 off the turnover. Break out of the gun. Takes the snap. Throws it deep ball over the middle. Man wide open. Gets it to Demorla inside the 10-5. Touchdown Carteret. Wide open was Diario Demorla, who had over 100 yards receiving last week for the Ramblers, and he burns the Raiders here. It's 7-6. North Brunswick with 4:59 left in the 3rd. So 43 yards there off the turnover. And now Fautia will come on for the extra point here. And the snap goes right to Fautia. He's going to try to run. He tries to flip it. He does. And he's going to be tackled. Brahini and Alderman grabbing Ethan Dota. So the extra point no good. So the Raiders, at least for now, hang on to a 7-6 lead with 4 minutes and 59 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. So we'll break. We'll come back with Raiders football on the King James Radio Network.
Listeners of the King James Radio Network can visit the King James Radio Network shop at jamesisking.com and get $10 off of your purchase with no expiration dates and no limits. Right at the top of the homepage is the My Locker icon. Click and customize your own KJRN gear from there, then use the code listed on the website for your discount. Sweaters, t-shirts, hats, bags, and all kinds of apparel to give you the look of a top-notch team or a top-notch individual. Thank you for checking out the KJRN shop at My Locker, only at jamesisking.com.
All right, so we come back. Carteret scoring a touchdown off of North Brunswick's third turnover of the game. And the Raiders now lead it 7-6 here over the Ramblers. So Carteret will kick off here. It'll be Jahil Nix kicking off for the Ramblers. 2 men back deep for the Raiders. Amir Alderman on the far side and Tyree Geaston on the near side. Geaston back at the 5-yard line. Nix kicks it towards the far side. Raiders would be wise to let it go out of bounds. They do. And so the Raiders will get it here. I believe they get it on the 40. Let's see. So we'll see where they spot the ball here. I believe it's to the 40, but no, 35. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. So the Raiders will have it 1st and 10 on their own 35-yard line. Aaron R. wide to the right, Manny Herrera slot right. And now the refs will blow the whistle here. Now we're ready. Christian Petrillo, once again, exclusively out of the shotgun. Miles Bailey to his left. And Petrillo takes the snap. Quick screen to the left. Dropped. Tyree Geaston did not come up with it. Incomplete. 2nd down. And there's a flag down, which I saw him point to the Raiders. Flag down back at the 30. If I'm correct, that's an illegal shift. The referees aren't correcting us, so yeah. So 1st and 15 now from the 30. So Petrillo, once again out of the shotgun. This time it's Alderman and Herrera to the right, and I believe Petrillo kept it there, and he is tackled. Dwayne Sharp on the tackle. Ball spotted back at the 27, loss of 3. 2nd and 18 now from the 27, so the Raiders seem to be going backwards here instead of forwards. No huddle here on 2nd down. Petrillo takes the snap. Quick throw to the left, and he completes it. And tackled for minimal gain. This is Geaston. And that puts it at the 34. Ethan Doda on the tackle. So now you're looking at 3rd and 11 from the 34. And right now the Raiders looking towards the sideline. Pushawn Brown, the offensive coordinator, telling him to hurry it up. 3rd and 11 from the 34. Petrillo out of the gun, takes the step and tries to keep it, and he's going to be stopped in the backfield. That might have been a busted play. Jordan DeMorla on the stop. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a handoff to Bailey or a keeper, one way or the other, but that did not look very fluid. Loss of 3 for Petrillo, who now has 3 carries for -3 yards. Well, not if you don't count the sack. 4th and 14. Aaron R. will punt back at his own 18. Takes the snap, gets this away. And this will go towards the far sideline, and it'll bounce out of bounds. before Rozelle Austin could get his hands on it. So it'll be Carteret ball. Let's see where they spot this. So, yep, 1st and 10 Ramblers from their own 38 with 2:54 left in the third quarter. North Brunswick 7, Carteret 6. The Raiders scoring their touchdown in the first half on a touchdown pass from Christian Petrillo to Miles Bailey. And Carteret scoring their touchdown on a pass to Jordan DeMorla for 57 yards. 2 in the backfield here for the Ramblers on first down. Break out of the shotgun, takes the snap, pump fakes, now throws it. Deep ball left side for DeMorla, and he's got it. Tackled by Brandon Outlaw at the 30-yard line. Brandon Outlaw in one-on-one coverage with Jordan DeMorla. Or check that with Diario DeMorla. And that goes for a gain of 31. Jordan DeMorla, a big weapon for Carteret. And he gets them deep in the Raider territory. 1st and 10 at the 31. So break out of the shotgun. Henderson will get the handoff. He goes right 30, trying to get around Dolo. 25, tripped up at about the 22 by Alderman. And there's a flag down. Mike Sipot and John Sipot pointing the other way. It's a hold against, hold against Carteret. So the Ramblers with the penalty kind of stops their momentum, at least for the moment. This one will come back. They'll spot it at the 38. Which brings us to 1st and 17 from the 38-yard line. Diario DeMorla is wide to the left, a big target for Zamar Break. Again, one-on-one coverage with Brandon Outlaw. The Raiders will call time here. So Mike Sipot not liking what he sees, and the first guy he goes to is Brandon Outlaw. So I think, I don't know if they want to get Outlaw some help there with DeMorla, or if they, want to leave him in one-on-one coverage. But the Raiders using their first time out here in the second half. 2:11 to go here in the third. North Brunswick leads at 7-6. We break, and we'll come back with Raiders football on the King James Radio Network.
Dana and Lisa here from Our Turf Football to tell you that the Our Turf podcast is up and running for the 2017 football season.
Did you know that women make up over 45% of all NFL fans and counting? Here at Our Turf, we have our own take on what's happening around the National Football League with special features, previews, reports from our official fan reporters covering each team, and interviews with players and personalities who have the scoop on what's happening. Women are in the know when it comes to football, and it's time the rest of the world knew it too.
Our Turf Football is every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on the King James Radio Network at jamesisking.com.
Back off the timeout. 1st and 17 for Carteret from the North Brunswick 38. Zamar Break out of the shotgun, going all the way back to midfield, and he's going to be sacked. Wrapped up in the backfield. Samad Wingo. Wingo again getting the start today for the Raiders. And that's a big loss for Carteret. Break dropped all the way back towards midfield. The ball will be spotted at the Carteret 48-yard line. So a loss of 14 on that. Let's see, 2nd and 31 for the Ramblers. With 1:40 to go in the third quarter. 2 wide receivers left, and now Diario DeMorla will go to the far side. So 2 to the right. Break will work out of the shotgun here, trying for a hard count. And Kelly goes in motion, hands off to Kelly, Stephon Kelly, midfield, 45, breaks a tackle at the 40, 35, stutter stepping to the 30, down to about the 28. He just kind of danced his way up the field before Amir Alderman finally brought him down. So that is a gain of 22-24, about 3rd and 7 at the 28. With 44 seconds left in the third quarter. Break with Henderson to his right, out of the shotgun, takes the snap, drops back, looking, throws it right side, completes it, and that'll be a first down inside the 20. Raheny on the tackle, that's Nix on the catch. And that's a Carteret first down. It was 2nd and 31, and Carteret gets a first down at the Raiders 17. Carteret with a Houdini act there. 14 seconds left in the third. Final play of the quarter perhaps. Break out of the gun, hands off to Henderson, and he is broke the tackle there to get another yard. It looked like Dolo had him wrapped up, but he broke that tackle. Gets to about the 14. And that'll do it for the third quarter. So a gain of 3 brings us to 2nd and 7 from the 14. And so we have played 3. The Raiders have the lead. It's 7-6 North Brunswick. The Raiders have the lead after 3 for the second straight game. 7-6 is your score. We'll take a break, and we'll come back here in just a moment. You're listening to North Brunswick Raiders football, and it's on the King James Radio Network.
This is David Straminsky. Raiders football is on your radio at jamesisking.com.
We come back now for the fourth quarter. North Brunswick 7, Carteret 6. Here at Steve Lebro Field, Corbett Thompson here at jamesisking.com. Also on Facebook under King James Radio Network and on Twitter at King James Radio 1. Carteret has the ball here, 2nd and 7 on the North Brunswick 14-yard line. Remember last week, Colonia scored on the very first play of the fourth quarter. The Raiders do not want to repeat. So we're set here. Zamar Break out of the shotgun. Takes the snap and fakes the handoff, goes right, and he's going to be tackled. Brought down from behind there. Samad Wingo. So it looks like it'll be at the 15 here. Yep, on the 15-yard line, so a loss of 1. So that'll bring us to 3rd and 8 from the 15. 30 seconds gone by here in the fourth. Neither team looks like, they're going to kick it here. Alex Rossman throwing his hands up, trying to get the crowd into it. 3rd and 8 from the 15. Chandler to the right, and Break out of the gun, throws it left, and dropped by Zacchaeus Break. Incomplete. Looked like G.D. Macelis on the coverage. It was a low throw, but certainly one that Zacchaeus Break had the chance to handle. So it'll be 4th down and 8 for Carteret from the 15. I'm suspecting that the Ramblers are not going to kick a field goal here. They would be looking at about 32 yards. So they're going to go for it. Keep an eye on Diario DeMorla. He's wide to the left. 4th and 8 for Carteret from the Raider 15. Break out of the shotgun. Chandler to his left. Takes the snap. Throws it over the middle. Completes it to Zacchaeus Break at the 10. Tackled by Bailey. But he will be short of a first down. The Raiders get it back. So the Raiders make the stop. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Not so fast. We're going to get a measurement here, it looks like. I thought they stopped him short, but ball is spotted at about just inside the 8-yard line. And they're going to measure it. I don't know. This might be a generous spot, but nevertheless, they're going to measure it here. So hold everything. And this is a huge measurement here. Obviously, if Carteret gets the first down, it'll be first and goal from the 8. If not, the Raiders will get it back. So let's see as they set the chains here. And no, Carteret did not make it. And the Raiders will have it back.
First down.
So the Raiders get it back. And they will have it first and 10 at their own 7-yard line. Now, that being said, the Raiders can ill afford a turnover. They've got 3 already today. So first and 10 from the 7-yard line it will be with 10:59 to go in the fourth quarter. So Christian Petrillo will work out of the gun here. Alderman wide to the left, triangle formation around Petrillo. He takes the snap, hands off to Miles Bailey, crosses the 5, maybe gets to the 6, and that's about it. I see Jahil Nix, David Pierre, a couple of guys on the stop there for Carteret. So now looking at 2nd and 10 from the 7. The Raiders want to try to run off the clock here, but it might not be easy to do deep in their own end. Alderman, wide to the left, Petrillo. Again, triangle formation around Petrillo, out of the shotgun, takes the snap, fakes it, handoff, rolling left, throws it, or completes it to Brandon Outlaw, trying to stay in bounds. And trying to run off a few more seconds. He's tackled at about the 12. Outlaw recognizing that he wanted to stay in bounds there. And now you're bringing up 3rd down. Ball spotted, it looks like at the 12-yard line. So we'll call it 3rd and 5. Clock has stopped at 10:12. But Petrillo out of the gun. We get movement on the line. Flags down. Let's see. The Raiders are pointing to Carteret's direction. And now the referees will have to sort it out. So we'll see what they come up with here on this call. Mike Sipot, or check that as John Sipot pointing towards Carteret. It is offsides against the Ramblers. And if I'm correct, let's see if it gives them a first down or not. Let's see here. The ball is spotted at the 17, so probably not. Probably looking at 3rd and less than 1. So 3rd and less than a yard at the 17. So we'll see if they give it to Bailey, or do the Raiders try something else? And now what? The referees will once again confer here. Not sure what. Oh, they're going to measure it. They're going to measure it here to see if the Raiders have a first down on the penalty. With 10:12 left to go in the fourth quarter, North Brunswick 7, Carteret 6. Raiders still looking for their first win from Mike Sipot. They drop the chains here. And it's going to be first down. So after the measurement, off the penalty from Carteret, the Raiders have a first down. It'll be 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. And again, it'll give the Raiders an opportunity to run at least another, say, minute and a half off the clock. We'll see if they keep it on the ground with Miles Bailey, or do they go to the air. Tyree Geaston wide to the left. Alderman will go to the other side. the Raiders have only thrown it 4 times here in the second half. One of those was an interception. Petrillo out of the shotgun. And he'll take the snap, hands off to Bailey, spins out of a tackle, trying to get to the 20, but he is wrapped up at the 18. And Emmanuel Amoka on the tackle. Short gain, 2nd and 9 at the 18, but the more important factor for the Raiders is the clock is running. 9:49 to go in the fourth quarter. North Brunswick 7, Carteret 6. 2nd and 9 from the 18. Petrillo out of the shotgun. Bailey to his right. Takes the snap. Dropping back. 3-step drop. Throws it right and incomplete. Dwayne Sharp on the coverage. Intended for Manny Herrera. Third down and 9 from the 18. And now Herrera coming off the field favoring his right arm. So we'll see if that's a factor here for the rest of the game. Jackie Morrison will look at him. Meanwhile, empty backfield for Petrillo on 3rd and 9 from the 18. And now Bailey in motion and fakes the handoff to Bailey. Goes off tackle right, crossing the 15, 20, 25. And looks like he has a first down at the 30-yard line. Christian Petrillo. So Chich Petrillo.
First down, Raiders.
That is a huge third down run from Petrillo. Gain of 12, 1st and 10 at the 30. Keeps the clock running at 9:08 to go in the fourth quarter. And the Raiders trying to hang on to a 7-6 lead. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Bailey now moves to the left of Petrillo. Chich will work out of the shotgun, takes the snap, quick throw to the left on a screen, gives it to Geeston, crosses the 30, 35, tackled there. Jordan DeMorla on the stop. So Tyree Geeston becoming more and more involved in the receiving game for the Raiders. Ball at the 35-yard line, so 2nd and 5. With 8:25 to go in the fourth. Petrillo with Bailey to his left. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side, out of the gun. Hands off to Bailey. 35, trying to get around the edge. 35, 40, 45, breaks the tackle. 50, 45, far side. 40, 35, 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, North Brunswick Raiders. Miles Bailey executes the bailout plan. Miles Bailey from 65 yards gives the Raiders a 13-6 lead in the fourth quarter. Another signature of the bailout plan from Miles Bailey. Bailey's 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. And the Raiders, with a 13-6 lead, could make it a little more difficult for Carteret with the extra point. Aaron R. will kick it. Christian Petrillo to hold, snap, drops the spot. Petrillo has to run, flag down. Petrillo scrambling, and he throws it right side to Nikhil Jirawala, who is tackled at about the 3-yard line. And another flag at the end. Petrillo, a little slow to get up, but he's up. And so let's sort this all out. So we'll see what we have. We'll see if Mr. Chesler is right about an illegal man downfield here. We'll see. Nope. Both penalties on the Raiders. Some type of illegal procedure. And then on top of that, I think they called a block in the back, but both penalties have been declined. So the extra point no good. With 8 minutes and 2 seconds left in the fourth quarter, North Brunswick leads it 13-6 over Carteret. We will take a break, and we'll come back here with North Brunswick Raiders football on the King James Radio Network. We come back to Raiders football here with 8 minutes and 2 seconds left in the fourth quarter. North Brunswick now leads at 13-6 over Carteret. Aaron R. tees it up at the 40-yard line. 2 men back deep here. Austin and Henderson for Carteret. It'll be Henderson at the 18. Goes towards the middle, 20, 25, 30, up the middle, 35. Spins at the 40, still going, 45, before Brandon Outlaw finally dives on top of him at the 45-yard line. So Carteret will have good field position here. 1st and 10 at the Ramblers' 45-yard line. With 7:52 to go in the fourth quarter, Carteret has all 3 of their timeouts. And keep in mind the dual passing threat, the passing and running threat of Zamar Brake. He's got both Diario Demorla and Zacchaeus Brake to throw to. Demorla is wide to the left. Trips to the left for Carteret. Nicks to the right. Out of the shotgun, Zamar Brake throws it left. He goes over to Demorla and trying to get out of a tackle. And it looks like Straminski wrapped him up at the 47. The ball might have popped loose there. The coaches are pointing their way to say they have it, but the refs rule it down. So ball at the 48. 2nd and 7 on the pass to Demorla, Diario Demorla. So it'll be 2nd and 7 now from the Ramblers' 48. 7:16 to go in the fourth. 13-6 Raiders. Out of the gun. Brake takes the snap, whistles blow, flags down. And illegal procedure called on the Ramblers. 2nd and 12 now. Back at the Carteret 43. Looks like Tyler Hernandez is checking in for Alex Rossman on the defensive line for the Raiders. Trying to keep those big guys fresh here in 80-degree temperatures. So 2nd and 12 from the 43. Nix wide to the right. 2 wide receivers right. And we get a whistle. Another flag. Multiple flags. And I think this is going to be another movement here on the Carteret line. It is. That brings us to 2nd and 17 from the Ramblers' 38-yard line. Clock at 6:42 and counting. And all that does is it takes more time off the clock. The Raiders trying to get guys off the field. If Carteret saw that, they might have tried for a quick snap, but too late now. The Raiders have their 11 guys. Trips to the right for Carteret on 2nd and 17. Brake out of the shotgun. Drops back. Here comes Wingo. He dumps it. Going left to Henderson at the 37. And Straminski will tackle him on the far side at about the 38.
Tackled by Straminski and Marcellus.
So ball is at the 37, which is actually a loss of 1. And it's 3rd and 18. With 5:55 and counting here in the fourth quarter. The Raiders on the verge of their first win from Mike Sipot. 3rd and 18 from the 37. Brake out of the gun. Takes the snap. Dropping back. Looking. Throws it right side. And bobbled but complete at the 47. Ball loose, but I think they're going to rule it down. They're going to rule it down. Jahil Nix on the catch. Even with the catch, it'll be well short of a first down. So we'll call it 4th and 8 from the 47. Carteret will have to go for it. 5:10 left to go in the fourth. Oh, no, they're going to punt. Just when I think the Ramblers are going to go for it, they're going to punt. So Dota to punt, and he punts it away. Geeston backing up, over the shoulder catch at the 15. He'll try to run. Going to the right, 15, 20, back to the middle, 25, tackled there. Tackled by, I believe that is Amoka, I think. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Even though Carteret has all 3 of their timeouts, we'll see if the Raiders can run the clock out. 1st and 10 from the 27. The question is, does Carteret, do they use their timeouts here on this possession? Or do they give their defense a chance to try to get the ball back? Brandon Outlaw coming into the game. Personal foul against North Brunswick. That's not going to help. And so it's gonna bring it all the way back. The ball was originally at the 27, so if it's 15, then it goes back to the 12. The referee is at the 19-yard line with the ball. So got a little confusion here. And now he's going to march it back. Now he's at the 15. He's going to march it back to put it on the 14-yard line. So now 1st and 10 at the 14, 4:46 to go. Now the strategy is still the same. Will Carteret be forced to use their timeouts, or does Matt Yasko give his defense a chance to get the ball back? Petrillo in a triangle formation around him, takes the snap, hands off. Bailey coming to the left, trying to get a block, and he is upended at about the 19. Ethan Doda on the tackle. So they'll spot it at the 19. Gain of 5 for Bailey. The clock runs. He did not go out of bounds. 2nd and 5 from the 19. That's the other thing. The Raiders have to try to stay in bounds. Don't stop the clock here. 2nd and 5 from the 19. Triangle formation around Petrillo. He looks to the sideline for his play here. Petrillo out of the shotgun, surrounded by Bailey, Herrera, and Outlaw. Takes the snap. Looks to Bailey. Now he'll try to run. 15, 20, and is tackled at about the 23. Demetrius Ruiz on the stop. Ball spotted at the 29. Gain of 10. And check that. I'm sorry, the 24. Gain of 5. And it is a 1st down. So Christian Petrillo with another big 1st down for the Raiders to keep the clock moving. 3.5 minutes to go in the 4th. 13-6 Raiders. Triangle formation around Petrillo. Again, Herrera, Outlaw, and Bailey behind Chich. Now Bailey will go to the near side. He'll hand off to Outlaw, and really no gain there. He is tackled. Number 54 is Frank Cogan. And so no gain for Bailey. 2nd and 10 from the 24. 2:52 to go here in the 4th. And eventually Matt Yasko will have to use some timeouts here if Carteret's going to stay alive. Petrillo not in a rush. Letting that time run. 2nd and 10 from the 24. Triangle formation around Petrillo. Chich milking that clock, takes the snap, and hands off to Bailey, going right and at the 30 before he has stood up there. DeMorla, I believe Diario on the tackle, DeMorla. And so ball is at the 29, and I think that's where Carteret calls a timeout. They'll spot it at the 30. So gain of 6 brings us to 3rd and 4 from the 30-yard line. Carteret uses their first timeout with 2:23 to go here in the 4th, excuse me. It's probably the best case scenario for Carteret. I had 3rd on the brain because I was about to say 3rd down. It's 3rd down. So this would probably be the perfect time for Carteret to use one of their timeouts. That way, 3rd down, you get a stop, you get the ball back. Whether Carteret will use another timeout here if they get a stop remains to be seen. They've got 2 left. 3rd and 4 it'll be. for North Brunswick from their own 30-yard line. You would assume this will be a running play. Amir Alderman wide to the left. Again, a triangle formation around Petrillo. Herrera, Outlaw, flanking Petrillo. Now Bailey in motion to the far side. Petrillo out of the shotgun, takes the snap. He's going to throw it. Flag down. Petrillo scrambling, left side, coming to the near side. Petrillo throws it away, incomplete. Intended for Sean Berhini, it looked like. And if I'm correct, I believe that is an illegal shift against the Raiders. Penalty is declined. And so that'll be 4th down. 4th and 4 from the 30, which will force North Brunswick to punt. Aaron R. The only thing I don't like there is you stop the clock. With 2:14 to go in the 4th. Make Carteret use another timeout there. That's the only thing I didn't like. But Aaron R. will punt from his own 16. Back deep for the Ramblers at his own 30 is Rozelle Austin. R gets this away. It'll take a bounce at the 40. And it'll take a Raider bounce to the 35. And that's where Carteret will have it. 1st and 10. So this could be the last chance for the Ramblers. With the Raiders leading 13-6. Carteret has 2 timeouts. With 2 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter. North Brunswick 13, Carteret 6. So we'll see. Trips to the right for the Ramblers. 1st and 10, Zamar Brake. Out of the shotgun, takes the snap, sharp to his left. He take it, throws it left, completes it at the 40. And his forward progress stopped there. Herrera and Outlaw on the tackle of Diario DeMorla. So we'll see now. Carteret in a hurry up. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6 from the 39. Trips to the right. 1:40 to go in the 4th. Break out of the shotgun. Takes the snap. Drops back. Looking. Steps up. Going to try to run. Straminski trying to tackle him at the 41 and does. So gain of 2 for Brake. They'll spot it at the 42. 3rd and 3. 1:18 to go in the 4th. No huddle for the Ramblers. Brake out of the shotgun. Takes the snap. Stops, drops back, throws it right. Completes it to Nix at the 46. That'll be good enough for a 1st down. Dolo on the tackle. So 1st down, Carteret. They have it at the Raider 47. A minute 8 to go in the 4th. 13-6. Raiders in front. Clock running. Minute 5 to go. Break out of the gun. Trips to the left. Takes the snap. Here comes Wingo. He'll dump it left. Incomplete. Nobody there, really. Looked like he was expecting Dwayne Sharp. But it'll be 2nd down and 10. So can the Raiders get one final stop here to give Mike Saipot his first win as a head coach? It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 47-yard line. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side for the Ramblers. Break out of the shotgun. Here comes a blitz. Dolo's got him. Kawana to Dolo. Dolo came on the blitz and nailed him. A solo from Dolo. Loss of 9 at the 38. Nope. Is it fourth or third? As the out of the shotgun pass, throws it to the far side, and that is DeMorla spinning out of a tackle towards midfield, and he is tackled at the 48. Was that fourth down? So if that's fourth down, I thought it was third down, but if that's fourth, I think now, is it fourth? Timeout Carteret. So now it is fourth down. So ball is spotted at the North Brunswick 49. That was a gain of 13, so you're looking at 4th and 5. Fourth and 5, so this is it. This is the game right here with 23 seconds left. Carteret using a timeout. They've got one left. 4th and 5 from the 49 of the Raiders. Zamar break, trips to the left. Out of the shotgun, takes the snap, looking, throws it. Left side for DeMorla, and it is intercepted! Intercepted! Brandon Outlaw gets the interception and puts the final nail in the coffin of the Ramblers. Brandon Outlaw with the pick. Carteret's second turnover of the day, and it is a fatal one. Ball at the 30-yard line of the Raiders, and now all that is left is for Christian Petrillo to take a knee, and Mike Sipot will have his first win as Raiders head coach. Victory formation for Petrillo. We get a whistle here. I don't see any flags. Oh, illegal substitution. Well, that's different. Illegal substitution on a victory formation, but the Raiders will take it. 15 seconds left. So, ball back at the 25. Petrillo in victory formation. And he will take a knee. Does Carteret use a timeout? It does not look like they will. And that will do it. Mike Sipot is in the win column as head coach of the North Brunswick Raiders. The Raiders defeat the Carteret Ramblers 13-6. Mike Sipot getting the Gatorade bucket. And their new head coach has his first win as the Raiders win it 13-6 here at Steve Libro Field. The Raiders surviving 3 turnovers. They forced a couple of their own, a couple of interceptions of Zamar Brake. And North Brunswick gets the W to move to 1-2. Carteret drops to 2-1. And the Raiders will look ahead to South Plainfield next week. If I'm correct, I believe the game is on Friday. I know the schedule. It is a Thursday game? Okay, so it's Thursday then. All right, so the Raiders will have a short week then. Very short week, 5 days to get ready for South Plainfield on Thursday. So, with that, our next broadcast of North Brunswick Raiders football on the King James Radio Network will be on Thursday, September the 28th, when the North Brunswick Raiders will head to South Plainfield to take on the South Plainfield Tigers, who are 2-1 after losing to Woodbridge last night. Game time is at 7 p.m., and Raiders Live pregame will begin at 6:30. So my thanks to the athletic director here at NBTHS, Mr. Lou Emanuel, interim principal John Patella, and the man to my right, public address announcer Joel Chesler. So, this is Corbett Thompson saying goodbye, Godspeed. We thank you for listening to North Brunswick Raiders football on the King James Radio Network. And once again, your final score, Mike Sipot gets his first win as Raiders head coach. The Raiders win it over the Carteret Ramblers by a score of 13-6. We'll talk to you next Thursday. You folks, have a good night.